What's up, people? Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Xavier is pumped. I hope you are as well, because it's been a crazy week in the Premier League, and we got more just around the corner. I couldn't be more excited. We're going to try to get to as much of it as possible. So right out the rip, let's get them likes up. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thanks for being here. It's the road to 200 subscribers. Hey, go ahead and smash that little notification bell as well. Alrighty, I think the blockbuster of the last week gone by is the place to start. Unfortunately, my friends, Chelsea beaten at Old Trafford in very disappointing fashion, I would say. What are we thinking? Do we not want to be thinking?
It's disappointing. It started with Pochettino getting the lineup wrong. Started there. And, there's continuously a concern, I think, personally, about this team playing on the road. And I think that starts with the manager. I'm not going to be crazy like some on Twitter that are wanting to, sack him and whatnot.
I've seen that.
Yeah, it's been pretty.
I don't
pretty
think
volatile.
right.
But yeah. I do think that it's a concern that
I've heard the word crisis thrown around.
I don't want to say a crisis. I think that if this was happening with us fully healthy, yes, that'd be most definitely a crisis. He can't seem to get the back line right, first off.
Did you just loved seeing Colwell at left back again, didn't you?
It makes no sense. Like, okay, they're talking about,
Kuka playing the right. Why would you put Cucurella on the right?
Is James not fit enough for a full 90? Is that what it was? James couldn't hit a full 90?
There was talk about he's not fit enough to play a full 90. And, okay, great, whatever. Play him 75 minutes and then figure out the last 15.
I don't know, man. He should have been playing at all. He was awful.
Well, he was. But
when he came on at halftime, right? It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. By Anthony, no less.
Yeah.
It was bad.
But no,
the spinner.
He got the lineup wrong. He got it wrong completely. This whole playing 3 center backs and then an actual outside back, or playing 4 center backs and no outside backs. I mean, it's an issue. It leaves someone totally hung out to dry on one side of the pitch, and you can't do anything about it. And Palmer,
especially when Sterling doesn't want to track back.
Yeah, no, Sterling doesn't want to track back. Which honestly, if he does, he's not that effective.
Huh? Playing defense.
He was saying the same thing you were.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a warm body.
Playing defense. I mean, he's just gonna play defense like this the whole time anyway, so it's not gonna matter. Like, yeah, it's just.
But no, I won't say crisis, but there are some concerns specifically getting this team to play on the road. I know we had a performance against Fulham. We actually started slow against Burnley. We came back in that one and scored 4. But we've played now. I mean, the whole Spurs thing was just, I mean, again, it's a top tier focus. That's a rival kind of thing. And we go out against United and look completely flat. Like, and you start to watch the team in general, and not even talking about Reece. We hit the 70th minute mark and everybody's hitting a wall. And it's like, what? Come on now, there's lacks in focus. There's or lapse in focus. They're fitness wise, they're looking terrible, and there just continues to be these mistakes that continue to happen. And once it's a mistake, 2, okay, the 3, 4, 5, 6, that's an issue. amongst their coaching. And again, I'm not calling for him to be sacked. That would be stupid. But I do think he needs to take some heat now. He was getting some leeway, because, Nkuku's out and this, that, and the other. And I think Nkuku's great. I really do. But he's not going to fix everything. It's going to have to come tactically. And right now he's getting beat pretty convincingly tactically.
Batty Shield was healthy, right? He came on.
I don't know why he didn't play. I really don't. It made no sense. Like when I saw the lineup, and I'm like, where's Benoit?
Because he was good in the last game.
Yeah, assist
versus Brighton, right? In the Brighton game, yeah. They're all running together because there's so many matches.
Because, my man ends up in the box. My man ends up in the box 80% of this time, and he still tracks back and handles his center back duty. Like I
like him, man. He's huge. He's a huge dude.
He's the same way.
He kind of looks like a lizard, but I like him.
Right.
He's got that like narrow face
because he seems to.
He does have just a really.
But what about their combo? Their combo together, DCIC and Batty Shield. Because I'm telling you, man, Silva's looking his age.
I love Thiago Silva, but he does not need to start.
It happens to everybody, man. It just is what it is.
For Thiago, he's just
the game is open,
and he's losing respect for it.
Yeah,
that's the problem. That's the problem.
The game is open. He's
over the hill and dusted.
Yeah,
dusted.
Did I hear right that he's like refused the captaincy?
I believe so, yeah.
Flat out for a couple of reasons. For a couple of reasons, obviously. But that was weird.
That was very weird. Like I was happy for him because he was an academy kid and everything.
He will pass the armband, and you hand it to him on the field, he'll also pass it.
But who though?
Won't wear it. Silva.
That's what I'm saying. So if Silva refuses, Colwell and Gallagher's out, who you missed horribly, by the way.
Definitely.
And James didn't start.
I think that attributes to Patrick's point of us being gassed.
Well, who's the leader?
Yeah.
Who's the leader? Because
talking about leadership and talking about captaincy, you can see some of that nonchalantness that Reese has as a player kind of starting to rub off on the team. You really, really can. Like there was
Mr.
a moment
Cool.
where I about threw something at my TV because we were playing out of the back, and it was the most ugly thing I've ever seen. And then somehow we got it cleared and broke the line. But before then, I mean, it was like, okay, Sanchez, you just played it someone who's covered. That person played to someone who's covered. It played back to Sanchez. They're pressing Sanchez, and everybody was just nonchalant about it. And I get being confident. There's a difference between confidence and being nonchalant. It was not confidence. It was being nonchalant. That was like, hey, they're not going to get me. I've got this, No, where'd everybody go?
I'm sorry. I'm messing around with the thing.
Oh, okay.
What happened to X?
Started to disappear.
I was pressing random buttons. That's my fault. What happened to X is what I'm wondering.
Where did X go? But no, there was a lot, a whole lot that was very, very concerning. On in that match, I think that we
sorry.
I think that the goal by Palmer was really good. It was about the only bright spot he had, though. I thought he got a little lost as the 10. And as a result, that put more pressure on Enzo, which I thought Enzo played decently. But it put a lot of pressure on him to create and to push the ball forward. And Palmer kind of got lost in it all. And it was clear that was not the role that he's ready for. He's not ready to be a 10. I don't think. I mean, I may be wrong. But it seemed like he's a little bit better on the wing. He can have people overlap, and he when he's playing central, I don't know if he's sure where to go with the ball. But fantastic goal. I mean, it really, really is. When you go back and you watch it and see,
cool, calm, and collected. Yep.
Cool, calm, and collected, and that sucker, even though it looks like it's crawling, I mean, he placed it perfectly.
I do remember when y'all scored that goal. I was monitoring the group chat, but I was watching the City game, and so I didn't watch it like live with you guys. But I do remember you saying, or it might have been one of you two, in a very frustratedly toned text, "Now actually do something, pull it together," because like it kind of come from nothing. I thought y'all were not playing out of the back well at all. So much so that at times, as you said, Patrick, Palmer was coming back, and I think that contributes to the fact that he kind of looked lost, because a couple of times he realized that they weren't playing out of the back well. So it's like, okay, I'm going to try to go help. He receives the pass and then swarmed immediately. No one's moving to give him options.
Nope.
It's it was. They just got you in the midfield, and it's from Mctominay bat, just ran you over.
Yeah,
which is
literally.
I mean, it's crazy to think that the Gallagher-sized hole was that big.
Well, I mean, dude, you cannot replace. It's the same thing that I said. I'm not comparing him to Conte or Rice or, in that regards. You cannot replace an engine that runs 90 minutes. You cannot do it. You find me a team that has two of those, like we did back in the day. You can do it. You can substitute Essien in for Ramirez. You can in swap Juan Mikey Mikel. You're gonna be fine. When you don't have anyone else who is willing to run like that for 90 minutes in our press, you're going to get smacked in the midfield. Enzo's out of place the entire game because we're getting smacked in the midfield. Palmer's having to come back and be negative because we're getting smacked in the midfield. Caicedo can't get on the ball and keep the ball, especially on a 1-2 give and go.
Shocking.
Especially from a 1-2 give and go, because he's getting smacked on the ball because no one's running to help.
Caicedo was
baffling because he was supposed to play Connor's role, and he's not going to run to fill the gap for 90 minutes. The boys look gassed at 70 because they were all trying to make up space because our dude who can run 90 isn't in the team on some dumb, stupid decisions that you want to make in open play. You cost us a game, Connor. I love you to death. I'm with you. You cost us 3. I'll be nice. You cost us 3 points.
I don't know, man. I feel like both Enzo and Caicedo put out absolute stinkers, man. And that's over $200 million there.
But you lose the glue who's keeping them together. You lost the consistency. You lost everything in the middle that glues those two players to being productive and effective.
I mean, one guy missing from the team can't be that bad, can it? Lewis?
I mean, we've seen what happens. We've seen what happens when Connor does not play.
They missed that.
And you and I both saw
Rodri's going to get his too.
In Atlanta, when he came on and he was pressing, Chelsea had chances against Newcastle. And, before then it was kind of overran in the midfield. And of course that was with, younger players and so on and so forth. That's not the point though. The point being is if you don't have that guy who can press like he does for 90 minutes, teams are going to just break you down left and right because of the way we're set up.
Yep.
And,
you want Colwell to get dusted outside you want Colwell to play on the outside. You already know that's a weakness. You lose the midfield. What's the next play? Kick it out, run him down the wing, shove it right down his throat. That's all they did. Time and time and time and time, even after our substitutions, and time again. That's all they did, and they got one trash goal, one decent goal from this game in moments of greatness. That's all this was going to boil down to, because we played like trash. We needed people to convert. We didn't do that. And again, I agree with Patrick here. We look gassed at 70. Because our 90's gone, man. We don't have our engine. You're going to run out of gas. You can't expect Enzo to fill the gap and play the ball without someone. You can't play Colwell on the outside without somebody able to track back and fill the gap in the middle. Like, We just got beat because, I mean, Ten Hag's, I'm not saying tactically he beat us here because
No, not at all.
I think both teams played like trash. If I was playing Chelsea with this Man United squad, it would have been a 7-8-0 the way we lined up and played this.
I think United were okay. They created.
So did
Look,
we.
I got the stats right here. I got the stats right here. 28 attempts from United. 28.
90% of those are from way outside the box. Bruno just hitting the ball, hoping something sticks.
They should. I mean, this game should have been 7-5, 8-4.
I mean,
something
Jackson
wild.
Could convert on a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-1, we'd be perfectly fine in this game. If Mud Dog can actually hit the side of a freaking barn, it's 2-2.
I tell you right now though. No, I disagree. If Mud Dog scores in the 3rd minute, y'all win the game. I think if Nico and Sterling can manage to beat just the goalkeeper,
it's literally no legs Onana.
You might win the game.
No legs Onana. The man doesn't even know where he's at on the pitch. You just chip him. Just chip him.
How is your goalkeeper have a worse game? How did Sanchez have a worse game than Onana? Than no legs Onana, as you say?
I actually thought Sanchez was fantastic. Without him, that's like 6 or 7.
I mean, he looked a little shaky in possession at times for sure.
Yeah, he always looks shaky.
That's what I was talking about. His shot stopping is better for sure, but I'm talking about there was some nervy stuff going on.
He put one right in front of the box for
it's the ricochet.
I think it was Garnacho.
The PK mark 4 times almost in a row.
Well, the one giveaway was smart. He gave it to Anthony in the box. He knows Anthony ain't gonna score.
All right, so I want to talk about something real quick. And it's because I have started noticing this, and I don't know what they're doing to get rid of it, because it sure seems like they're doing nothing. When did they stop giving yellows for dives in the box? If someone goes down, it's either a foul or it's a dive. Now, we saw it on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. Matoma. Disgusting dive in the box. Nothing.
That should have been a yellow for sure.
It's when it's orange. Yeah. It's when it's orange. It's when the call can go either way, no matter what. Like, if I call it on the field, it's
Matoma's wasn't either way, bro. Matoma's is a clear dive.
I agree. I agree.
Literally dove. Like it wasn't like he no. I mean he literally was like diving into a pool of water.
L trigger left to the left.
To the left, hold.
straight dead fish.
But my point
wasn't that you? Yeah, you pulled a dead fish.
I did score a goal in a CSU game. Yeah. It hurt. Like I full send, like full commit. I leapt like this and fell on the ground. It hurt a lot.
My point being though is Lindelof does touch Sterling. Does he go down easy?
Takes his laces off. I'm surprised my man had laces to tie his shoes
either
again.
You call that a dive or you call that a foul in the box. It's one or the other.
I think it's a dive, personally. On that one, I personally thought that Sterling dove. But I agree that the referee should make it one way or the other.
Sterling knew he was going to get kicked. He knew he was going to get kicked. And that's what I was talking about before we got on. Yes, contact is made. Sterling has possession. Sterling takes that extra touch because he knows he's about to get kicked. So it's like, as a striker,
why not just take the hit? Take the hit. If you're gonna dive anyway, just don't take the extra step and get run over and make it a clear pin.
Right. It's for me as a striker, I'm in the ref's face. I might catch a card. I might catch a card for the no call and or not giving either of us a card.
Well, if you have blonde hair and are 6'7" and you scream in the referee's face, you should be fine.
You should be fine. Well, but that's because the ref was scared if he gave Holland a card there. That
lightning was going to come down and blow him.
He was like, "Oh, this dude is kids."
But no, I mean, I'm just saying. I thought I get why they called a red card, or not a red card. They called a penalty on Chelsea. Did I agree with it? No, because the ball is gone. Should he not? No. But my point being to that is if there's contact in the box and you're going to call that, but then you're not going to call where a defender truly does stop a play in the box because of contact on an attacker, then where's the balance, right? Where's the balance? So either A, it's a
There is none.
and you give a yellow card, or you whatever.
No,
or B, it's a foul in the box and it's a penalty.
Would you like another example of no consistency from your game? From that game, how has Luke Shaw committed the same yellow card offense twice and not been sent off?
I wondered the same exact thing.
I know it's dumb. I think it's dumb. Kick the ball away and get a yellow card. I think that's kind of lame, but that is the rule.
Yeah.
Jack Grealish couldn't play against Villa because of that.
They've been enforcing that rule.
Yep.
Old Trafford effect. Nope. Oh, you know what? He's fine.
It really did.
He didn't kick it away far enough.
And Chelsea did not play well. Okay, I want that to be known. I don't get it twisted. I'm not going to sit here and blame the officials that Chelsea lost. Chelsea played poorly.
There's no issue, right?
But it's inconsistency across the board. 1 week you can push someone in the back and it's a foul. The next week,
Newcastle Arsenal.
Not in my experience.
I know, right?
I said not in my experience.
And I get that Colwell went down easy, but if he isn't
I would
pushed,
too.
that's not a freaking free header.
I would too.
It's just not.
I agree with that. I agree with that as well.
If you're gonna call fouls in the box on defenders, and then not call them on defenders for contact with a striker or an attacker, but then you're gonna let the attacker be more physical in the box, then what's a defender supposed to do in that situation? I gotta get more physical, but you're gonna call foul on me. So I'm going to give up a penalty as a result. But the attacker is allowed to push or nudge me out of the way so they can get a free header. Like, it's inconsistent.
It makes sense if you don't think about it.
Huh?
It makes sense if you don't think about it.
I know, right? But my point being is
it makes sense in where the game's going, to be honest, Jake. Like, the game is moving towards they want more goals. They want more goals scored. They want more highlights. They want more goals.
Yeah,
so
that's a whole nother pod though. We could go on that forever.
Oh yeah, it's moving away from this defensive prowess, even in the Prem, where it's the most defensive league in the world. It's moving away from being a defender's league, like Patrick's hinting at here. It's like when the offender has the edge to be more physical and can fully extend elbows out from a defender and move a center back, or at this point a left back, completely out of the way to create space. It's a striker's league. It's a striker's league. Yeah,
they're definitely looking for the goals, but where does that leave you guys? Because Goodison Looms and Everton just smashed Newcastle.
Yeah, they did.
We're gonna smash.
That was a dress down.
Everton looked very. I watched the bits. So I watched like the last 20 minutes of the second half, and then like from 75 to like 87 during halftime of the Spurs game. So in those moments, Everton were far superior. I was shocked. Kieran Trippier with two shocking mistakes to give up 2 goals, like right on top of each other too, like 3 minutes in between. He's lost the ball, and I mean, Dwight McNeil, credit, great goal. So they're looking.
Quite frankly, I was surprised he was on the pitch, because what he did to, was it Calvert-Lewin? I think it was Calvert-Lewin, where he's got his arm locked around him and is just holding him and bringing him down. That's a dangerous move. That's somewhere where you can break someone's arm. That is something that, just using this for an example, in basketball, it's called a hook and hold. They will tee you up. They will call you for a flagrant foul. They will kick you out of a game.
Really?
If you do that.
Huh.
And like they looked at it like, nothing. And it was like, no, like it wasn't like a quick, no, they ran for like a good 6-7 yards, and he's holding his arm the whole time against him. And he finally pulls him down, and they called the foul for the pull down, but they weren't going to call it with his arm locked into him. And it was egregious.
Yeah.
Like it was not by mistake. He knew what he was doing.
Oh, of course.
But, just kind of going back real quick to Chelsea. I hope that the Gallagher.
He's back, right? It's only a one match game, a one match ban.
Yeah, he's good. So I hope he can help us. We have another injury. Madueke somehow got injured.
While he was warming up, did he even come in? He didn't play.
Oh, I told you, bro.
I think he got injured right before the match on Saturday. It's a couple
weeks ago, man. I think I told y'all, dude. I think Madueke is like unfortunate, dude. I'm really worried that he's done. Like, just
that's not good.
That knee, he had like a tear. I think.
Yeah, the knee injury he received is already bad, and then this progression from him trying to heal, bro. I just think he's done.
Yeah. Wow. What you saying, Lewis? Welcome to the show, man. What you saying about the Blues?
Well,
the Royal Blues.
Did I pick this game? I can't remember if I picked this one.
No, you said the Old Trafford effect. You gave United this game.
No, you and I both said 2-2. You and I both said 2-2, Lewis.
But I
should have been.
Yeah, but I said something about the Old Trafford effect. I did remember saying that. It's funny because it's the idea of, well, actually, I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to go post-match only because when we talk about City, it'll be post-match stuff too, right? So my thing is that, and I don't know where you guys stand, but there's a huge clamoring for, well, I don't want to say huge, but I've seen enough of it to kind of be curious about sending Pochettino away, which I'm confused about why people are saying that, because
they're Chelsea. I'm one of them, because they're Chelsea spoiled brats. I'm one of them. I'm one of them. I will fully admit that.
He can get things wrong. I understand him getting things wrong, but it's also a matter of,
but he's progressing our players. It's something, again, I disagree with the Tuchel firing. So that, this is a 100% on Todd.
In addition to that, these are not his players. And I think people really have to account for that. These are not his players at all. So for what he's doing with what he has, I think that's important. Patrick mentioned something about Cole Palmer playing in the 10. And I remember when you first got him, you asked about that. And I said he doesn't play the 10. And he's a winger. And the thing is that, and it's funny because, the jokes about him being a penalty merchant. I'm glad he scored an open play. It was a very good goal. But at the same time, you have to, I think what he did is similar. And I think Pochettino will develop him is a matter of he's still missing sort of game education. He has raw talent and skills, so he can do all the reactive stuff, but his awareness is missing, which is why he had the performance he did. It's funny. I when I went back to watch some of this, because I didn't watch all of it, I just saw the highlights. But the Onana, just not scoring on him was just mind blowing. Because the first thing I thought about was Jack Grealish, and I was like, well, does Jack score on the breakaway? And then I look at this, right, and I'm like, well,
not against that brick wall.
Clearly. And so, I look at it and there's a couple of things. You got the Old Trafford effect. I think Chelsea is still fine. Even though I sent you the thing where it said that if Everton hadn't lost their points, Everton would they be above you? I think.
Yep, they
right?
would. Yeah, they would be above Chelsea.
Which totally means that we've all been generally wrong about Everton. They're inconsistent, but they're not. They're very unlikely to be relegated this year, just because they're inconsistent.
They're out of the bottom.
With another, point deduction.
There's worse. They're lucky. There's worse teams. That's all it is. Sheffield's going down. Luton's probably going down. Burnley can't stop leaking goals.
I don't know. That was comprehensive against a really, really strong Newcastle team. I know they're ravaged with injury, and they haven't made a sub in about 4 games.
They beat us 4-1.
And you're 10th, bro. The table don't lie.
No, that's what I'm saying, though. Is like Everton and us. It's sad to say, but like they beat.
Well,
us
that's my point. Everton would be ahead of you. That was what Lewis was saying. Everton would be ahead of you without the deduction.
I mean, granted, we have 90. Well, not anymore. We have like 8 players in the hospital, 8 starters in the hospital still.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
just so
that's where you got to go. That's next up on the docket, and it's soon. I'm pretty sure that's Saturday.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's especially coming off the back of both of these games. Y'all's confidence is in the dumps. Their confidence is in the clouds. So
they're angry. They're mad.
They should be.
They should be.
Yeah,
they should be. They have a chip on their shoulder. It doesn't matter who they're playing. They have a chip on their shoulder for the whole league now. It's everyone's a target, not.
I feel that
everyone's.
We're coming for everybody. Yeah, but this one for me was tough to predict. It was actually I skipped it and come back to it at the end when I was doing the predictions because I was like, man.
No, it's Sunday, 9 a.m.
It's Sunday. So, but on form, this one is.
I'll get to go watch this one.
I put 2-2. I said 2-2. And speaking of predictions, we'll go ahead and get this up right here. Patrick has had another good weekend.
Banger of a week. Holy cow.
Absolutely. So did you, by the way, Xavier. You could, and I'm steadily dropping. Plummeting might be a better word. For those of you listening out there on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other platforms, Patrick's still up top with 174. Lewis in second with 168. I myself am languishing in third on 155. Xavier is on my heels at 150.
Heart picks.
So, yeah, I said 2-2 for Everton v. Chelsea.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, you're never picking that, yeah.
No, never picking that. It's gonna be 2-1 to the boys.
There you go.
But Patrick, you should, if it's 9 a.m. Sunday, you should come to Hampton Station. Shout out to the Bluefield group. There'll be a watch party. You should definitely make your way over here. Catch it at the coffee shop. Bar opens at 10.
Dude, you should totally like talk to some of those guys and film like a little short or something with them. Yep. Especially if you win.
I was doing it during the Arsenal game, and as soon as I started like talking, and then y'all scored the equal, I literally threw my phone across the bar.
When y'all win, when y'all beat Everton, I want like a quick little snippet from everyone going, yeah.
All right,
that's all it is.
Yeah.
These are sad times. I just want to point that out. Sad.
We need point. It doesn't matter who it is.
It's a huge if. We'll just draw a large if there.
I don't care if it's Luton. I'm celebrating like we won. We need points.
Yeah, we do.
Oh my goodness, absolutely. What you saying, Patrick?
So, how is Pickford? He looked like he might be
limping a little bit.
He was limping a little bit, and
I never heard anything about it though.
And it looked like that there was an ongoing issue. Reason why I ask is I think that if Pickford's not in goal, we can actually get a few goals past him.
Who's their backup?
I don't even know.
It was Asmir Begovic last I remember, but that could have been a while. That could have been a while.
Chilling with Chelsea, if I remember right.
Is he?
Let's see. Hold on. We'll look real quick. I
don't see anything about. Oh, here we go. Athletic. Oh, that's 3 months ago. Never mind. I don't see anything about it.
Huh. Because he must be fine. He looked like he was struggling a good bit.
Yeah, he must be fine.
So that will kind of affect things. If Pickford does not play, I would go 3-1 Chelsea. With Pickford in goal, I'm going to go 2-2. So let's go.
Oh, he wants to do it. Go with your heart pick, dude.
Let's go 3-1.
There you go. You love to see it. 3-1 to the Toffees. I mean, no, that's not it.
I was about to uninvite you on Sunday or Saturday or Sunday morning at 9.
Yes.
3-1. You're still invited. So you come out to Hampton. But anyway, I was about to come through my
man.
computer at you, bro. We
Well,
need points.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And
we had a fracas at the end of the game today.
I saw that. I didn't read anything about it.
Players involved.
Uh-oh. Fines, bans, they're coming down. Oh, wait, it's Newcastle. They're not. Never mind.
They're not gonna.
Oh, my goodness.
Pickford was taken away by his teammates.
Why? Y'all won 3-0. What's the deal?
Something about he could have angered Newcastle stars with his wild knee sliding celebration. This is from the Sun. Joe
my
Linton
goodness.
refused to let the argument lie, as he also had to be dragged away by Newcastle's coaching staff.
Ridiculous. Let the man celebrate. Come on now. Whatever.
Fabian Schär also played a prominent role in the fracas, at one stage butting heads with Pickford.
Bans. Let's see some bans. Where's the ban hammer? Let's see it. Come on. Let's see some bans. This is just bringing the game into disrepute. They're bringing the game into disrepute. Come on now. Speaking of bringing the game into disrepute, we will move on to the Arsenal at Kenilworth Road in an absolutely abysmal performance from the Gunners.
First off, I went back and listened to your match recap, and scathing.
Yep. Deserved. It was wholly deserved.
I watched it and I was blown away.
We were bad, man.
Really blown away.
I have not seen us play that bad in a long time. Like I said in my match reaction, it might be the worst in the Arteta era, and I can't think of a. I can't really think of a worse one. I count, like, remember what I said in the preview, that if we don't take it seriously and we don't win second balls, we will struggle mightily, even against Luton. I said that.
You also said that you had Rice to win second balls, and you weren't too concerned either.
Yeah, well, I should have been. I counted.
Oh, you did.
I took notes. Yeah, here it is. Look at my. There were 37 contested second balls. We got wrecked, bro. We lost. They won 22 of them. They won 22 of them, and you wonder why we didn't control the game. Why we didn't have, strong possession. We didn't have what we normally do, to where we were pinning them in, making them drop deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. It's because we couldn't. Like their whole strategy is to hit Adebayo and win the second ball.
Yeah.
That's literally all they do when they're in possession.
It works though, or it works at times. We'll say that. But I'm telling you, that place, it's so small that it's intimidating. Like I was blown away. Like I knew it was small. Like I really, really knew it was small. But when they did like the sideline shots, and you saw that there's only like 6 rows on each.
Yeah,
section.
It's wild.
You're like, oh my gosh, this is even smaller than I thought, and I think that can be somewhat intimidating.
I don't know, man. These guys are professionals that have been doing it for years and years and years. Intimidating, like at Luton Town, man. Come on, I don't think.
My point being is. It's the idea of the fans being on top of you. You can have a small stadium with the fans being right on top of you. You kind of feel like you can't breathe kind of thing. That said, y'all should have been more than fine. When they went up, I was like, oh, okay. And then Havertz got a. Last year, he puts that sky. He skies that clearly. Like he would have put his foot through it, and it would have hit C19
from from inside the 6?
19.
From inside the 6? On an open net?
The man scored 7 goals last season, man.
Oh my God, he's already on 3 this.
I know. I mean, it just. But yeah,
But he was awful.
That, I was like,
he was terrible though.
They got this one, and then I kind of left it for a little bit, and I turned it back on in the 95th minute.
Yeah,
and I was like, wow.
Yeah, Kai Havertz actually had the equalizer. We went up 2-1 in the 41st
right.
half of Jesus.
Yeah, I saw the equalizer. Yeah,
gotcha,
when y'all equalized, I was like, they'll win 5-3 now.
Yeah,
Man,
we didn't show up till the 78th minute. We didn't even decide to play until the 78th minute. I was so disgusted. I was so my celebrations were not as vehement as my yelling at the TV. My protestations of how poor we were more intense than when we scored. When Rice scored, I celebrated Villa. I celebrated Leon Bailey scoring today more than I celebrated Rice yesterday. That's how mad I was. That's how frustrated I was that it took a 95th minute winner to beat Luton Town. That's how frustrated I was, man. Because I got up, I stood up, obviously, and I went but it was more of a frustrated, I clenched my teeth and growled because I was just just letting it all out because I was like, this was awful. That was ridiculous. And I do remember thinking to myself in the 68th minute at 2-2 that champions at 2-2 that champions would win the game. And then we got scored on to go down, and I was fuming. I was so mad. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, we deserve this. We deserve to lose, though. That's why I was so bitter, because I was like, we definitely deserve it. But, as bad as we were, at no time until it was 88, 90, 91. At no time did I think that we were going to lose that game, or that we weren't going to didn't have more goals in us, or that it's crazy to me,
right,
that we played that bad. Luton are not good. No disrespect, they are very, very, very poor. We gave them 2 goals. We gifted Andre Onana status. Gave them 2 goals.
Yeah, let's talk about Raya.
Awful.
Why has Arteta caused this row of sorts for this guy?
It's pronounced Row. But
for this guy, why? When they scored on that header, I'm like, that's elementary, dude. I learned that at age 10. Hey, you can man the box. The ball's in the air. That ball is yours.
Flapping like a windmill, bro. Flapping like a seagull right on that one, man. Just what are you doing, dude? What are you doing?
Even try to punch it.
He's not even close. Not even close, man. And that's the literal only thing that I ever thought separated you from Ramsdale, was his ability in the air to attack crosses and be big on crosses and set pieces and the like. Atrocious. And then to let the 3rd goal in, man.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
That's awful.
Barkley ran right at Ben White, and Ben White just backed off, right?
Man, I can't even, dude. I was so pissed. I was incensed. This is not the first time. That's how Ben White defends. That's what he does. That's his one-on-one style. Bro, you're 4 yards from the goal.
You said that when Chelsea was about to play.
You're 4 yards from your goal. You can't give You can't give anyone. You can't give me that space. I will score on you if you give me that much space in the box. What are you doing? And now Tomiyasu's injured for like 6 weeks?
Yeah.
Bro, that is the literal worst performance I've ever seen from Ben White. And I remember him playing at Brighton. He never played that bad at Brighton. It's the worst performance you've ever put in, bro. Atrocious. Baffling. It was baffling. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And, it was a very Manchester United-esque performance where we show up in moments with quality. And because Luton are trash, we were able to be that bad and still score because we had quality in moments. They gave us the first goal. Completely switched off. Completely. A horrific ball.
By Barkley.
What?
Do you think Raya should have saved that shot by Barkley?
Yes. Yeah. I do.
I'm watching back the goals right now.
Credit Barkley. Credit Barkley on that play, but we should never be giving up that goal, man. Like, they gave us the first goal, our first goal, and then just a simple beat a guy and cross. Jesus is unmarked in the 6th. Like, am I wrong to say that Luton are? Am I missing something? Like, how did we just didn't take it seriously, man?
No.
Straight up, we did not take it seriously, and we expected to show up and just walk. And you can't do that in this league. You cannot do that in this league. That's not how it works, man. Not if you want to be champions. Not if you want to lift anything at all. You cannot go to any team. You cannot do that.
Yep.
You have to be switched on always. And if we didn't have Declan Rice, I'm bowing down, man. You saw me in the short I posted.
That's the fourth or fifth.
All hail Declan Rice, baby, because without him,
that's the 4th or 5th he's saved.
Bro, imagine if Jorginho played instead of Rice in that game.
Sorry.
We'd probably lose.
Without Declan Rice, you're probably sitting 4th right now.
Awful. We're having a torrid season without Declan Rice. I've said if and when we win this league, it will be because we signed Declan Rice, and I'm getting from that performance, I'm getting shades of 2011, 2012, where the only reason we did anything at all was Robin Van Persie. The one-man show literally put us on his back and carried us to 4th place that season. And then because he was so good, he won the Golden Boot, all that. That's what it's looking like, from that singular performance. That's not what it's been all season, but that performance was a total one-man show. And without Rice, we would have been sunk completely. And I'm telling you right now, if we go to Villa Park with that BS, we'll hold 5.
Take them serious.
We'll hold 5, bro. We'll get demolished, decimated, man. I'm telling you right now. We'll save the Villa City game for when we do the city review, but man, they definitely need to have a better performance than that. And Kai Havertz, back to your normal settings. Well done, buddy. Ghost settings once again. Good job.
But he got a goal.
Come on, man. We all know that popping up for a goal in a game doesn't mean you played well. Okay, maybe the mainstream media and Sky Sports and all these and Timmy Howard and NBC think that, because we scored 4 goals, we had a good game and this was a fantastic game with lots of man, what game were y'all watching? That was an awful game with no quality. Very, very little quality.
They're trying to simplify what is considered success and what isn't.
Havertz was not on. You didn't even know he was on the field until he popped up for the goal.
Yeah. And that I just actually went back and watched it. It hit his shin.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Hit it off his shin.
No quality. Like I said,
That's why he didn't sky it. That's exactly
like I said, a clear lack of quality. Man, it's so against Villa, it's going to be Zinchenko and Ben White. And if Leon Bailey has anything like the performance he just had against Gvardiol, Zinchenko is going to get wrecked. He's gonna get spun. He's gonna get. I'm worried, man. I'm really, really worried coming off the back of that performance. I hope there's a response. We have to have a response, and the only way we're gonna win this game at Villa Park is by playing like we played against City. It's just gonna have to be a stifling, boring, defensive, don't give them any space, keep the game super slow, don't let them hit on the counters, because I feel like if we try to go punch for punch, we don't really do that. We have the capabilities to score lots of goals, but it's so spotty. There will be space. There will be space. So this should be a fun game. It should be entertaining, But if we go to stifle, it absolutely could be completely the opposite. And it could look like the City game, the Arsenal City game. And I'll be okay with that. Because there are so many danger men on that squad. I don't have to tell you, Lewis. They were really good, and they haven't lost in 14, 15 at home, something like that. The last team to beat them was us. Last team to beat them there was us. And I said at the beginning of the Man City Aston Villa game, I said, Villa should have beat City last season. They were robbed on a no offsides call, or on an offsides call that shouldn't have been called offsides. And so they should have beat City last season. And I'm like, okay, and now this season they've just edged it. Villa, they could have beat us at home last season. Aaron Ramsdale doesn't make a breakaway save versus Ollie Watkins in the 90th minute. We lose. We lose that game. Georgie doesn't hit the off the post off of Emmy into the goal. We don't get the breakaway at the end. If Ollie Watkins, fine margins, man. And so the margins are going Villa's way this season. Case in point, they're third in the table.
They're dang.
Rode their luck a bit against Spurs, but we're the better team. We're far superior to the champions. I'm scared, man. This is going to be a tough game. And I'm hoping to see Trossard instead of Havertz in the middle. Villa aren't necessarily super physical. And so, although John McGinn definitely is. So he may go Havertz to try to body him up. And I don't like that.
No,
at all.
I
don't want that at all.
That's not a fair fight.
I mean, I would like to see Trossard in the left 8. So it'll be Zinni, Gabriel, Saliba, White, Rice, Trossard, Odegaard, Martinelli, Saka, Jesus would be my lineup. And honestly, Aaron Ramsdale would also be in my lineup after, because if there's no consequence for having a crap game, then what are we doing? Sell Ramsdale already, which is awful. And I like Aaron Ramsdale. And I think it's completely harsh. He's gotten us to the Champions League for F's sake, and he hasn't even gotten a minute in the Champions League. And he is a main reason why we got there. People seem to forget that he made tons of saves last season. The Liverpool match that we completely blew to pieces, we should have lost. The Villa game, as I've just said, we could have lost. He's gotten us there. He's helped us get there, and then he doesn't even that's a little bit unfair. A little bit unfair. And you've brought in another keeper, and they're supposed to be competing, but Raya's thrown some stinkers, man. Mm-hmm. I think Ramsdale should get a shot, and I would be very happy to see that. But they're going to have to up it. massively from what we just watched on Tuesday. Yeah, I'm thinking they're going to go to stifle, and if they don't, it could be a back and forth kind of game. Saliba looked a little bit caught out against the dude from Lawns, who's super fast, which is Diaby, Bailey, Watkins, just speed all day long. So it's going to be rough, man. It's going to be a tough one. Like I say, I'm nervous about it, but I do think we have what it takes to get the victory. I've said 2-1 to the Gunners. What are we thinking?
Well, first off, I got to give Unai Emery a lot of credit for making Leon Bailey actually effective, because there was a time there where everybody wanted him, and I can't remember where he ended up going. He just flopped, like horribly flopped, and he wouldn't stay healthy. He just was not good, just not good at all. And it was so bad that the national team didn't even want him to play. Like, he was that bad. And now he's a focal point for them, and also he's producing at Villa. So I give Unai a lot of credit for that. But that said, Villa Park is just – it's not the hornet's nest that St. James is by any means. But that Villa team, they turn up for sure there compared to on the road. And I think that I don't think you'll give the same effort that you did against Luton, because again, it's Luton. They're at the bottom of the table. Should be an easy stroll through the park kind of day. You get an early goal. Oh, we're gonna dominate. They get one on a header. Okay, whatever. And then they hit a second, and you're like, oh, we got a problem.
Yeah.
That's when your wake up call kind of comes. So I don't think you're gonna be like that. I just think this comes down to quality versus quality. I think that just because you don't have that left-sided 8 figured out, I think that they're better in the midfield. I think you're stronger defensively. Attack, y'all are better probably.
I don't know, man. Declan Rice is better than all of them. He's better than McGinn. He's better than Douglas Luiz. He's better than Camara. Yeah.
Okay.
Bro. Yeah. Yes. Put some respect on the man's name, dude. He's better. I didn't say he's better than them combined. I said he's better than each of them individually.
Oh, I thought you said combined, and I'm like,
no.
I agree. Individually, yes.
The midfield is super strong, but Rice is also super strong.
Right, and that's why I'm saying that left-sided 8 is the concern.
It's massive. But Trossard has what it takes to put in a good performance there. We've seen it. Right. But also, Arteta in the stands. For celebrating. Come on, guys. What are we doing?
Oh, man, that's a whole nother thing. Like, what personality do they take on? Because it does feel like, with the way he is on the sideline, that your team kind of gets up, gets down. They really do take on that personality of him. And that leads to some questions about, what is he doing to get them prepared for road games? Just like I was asking about Pochettino, what the heck are you doing to get our team ready for road games? And y'all kind of have this nonchalant attitude when you go on the road. You'll get up a couple goals, and it's like, all right, we're good. We ain't got nothing to worry about.
There won't be none of that. We won't be up a couple goals. I mean, I'll be shocked if we go up a couple of goals and are that comfortable. I'll be shocked.
I'll be shocked if you go up a couple goals, first off. Just being honest. I think that this is a very even match. I'm going to go with the home team just because they've won 14 in a row. That is something that is – momentum is momentum. So I'm going to go 2-1 to Villa.
Yeah, I hear you. And if that is the scoreline, it won't shock me. It won't shock me at all. Interestingly enough, they've both gone. Whoa, what is this?
This is just an ongoing, we're just.
It's a whole thing. Yeah, it's a whole thing. I don't know what's going on.
Lewis, you there?
Is he there? You there, Lewis?
Wait, you don't see me?
I can hear you. Yes. All right, there you are. What you saying about the Arsenal?
It's interesting because I think your point about Declan Rice really matters. It's Villa are for real. I mean, there's really nothing else to say about it. I think it's going to be a draw. I think it'll be 2-2. But going back, I was really shocked at the way Arsenal kind of took on Luton. But at the same time, City, they're gonna we switched each other, so we'll see how much missing Arteta will affect them. Maybe it'll be a good thing where then it's sort of player centric, and the guys will just be like, hey, these are our marching orders. This is what we're gonna do, and so then it will be how much Emery affects it. But I think it'll be a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, definitely could be something with Arteta in the stands. I don't know if it'll affect us that much, but yeah, that's another scoreline that wouldn't surprise me at all either. What you saying, X?
I got 3-2 going to the Arsenal.
Nice. I like it.
I think it's going to be some goals in this game, man. Yeah.
Definitely should be a fun one. Definitely should be fun. I think it'll be far more comfortable for us if it's not. If it's just like we just shut them down like we did City, and maybe don't create as much ourselves, but just control the game the whole time. But the way Villa are, as good as they are, I don't think that's how it's going to be. But it could be. And I think that would be a good way for us to win. If it's back and forth, could be anybody's game. Could be anybody's game. But Speaking of Aston Villa, we'll take a look at their game. A massive, wonderful victory, perhaps for 75% of the panel here. What you telling me, Lewis? Tough one.
Well, I mean, is it tough? Villa were better. I mean,
yeah,
City
they were.
Had moments in the beginning of the first half and moments in the beginning of the second half. But other than that, Villa were better than the team for the rest of the game. I mean, I think the 1-0 scoreline was flattering the City because anybody who watched the game knows that it could have been more. Ederson played really well. And because the goal that they did score,
another deflection.
Dude, that's how he gets. And the funny thing is Ederson, you can see where Ederson was going. He saves that if there's no deflection. And you look and you're like, well, who was good in that game, right? Stones wasn't fit yet, so I'm not going to bash Stones. Rico looked like he didn't know what he was doing, and which is strange because that's where he plays. Mm-hmm. Foden was a ghost. I mean, Haaland had two shots early and then nothing.
Here's my question, man. First of all, Haaland should have scored at least one of those. But secondly, the biggest question I have about this game, where'd he go? Can you still hear me? At least there he is. The biggest question I have about this game is the recruitment in the summer. You've sold Gundogan, you've sold Mahrez, KDB's out. You don't have Rodri for this game. No Grealish, no Doku, right? And so you have Kovacic, you have Mateus Nunes, you have Calvin Phillips. Why are we seeing the Akanji Stones double pivot instead of just playing a center defensive midfielder? Just straight swap for Rodri. Okay, yes, Calvin Phillips is not Rodri. Kovacic is not Rodri. Nunez is not Rodri. Not even close. But why would you buy Calvin Phillips in the first place? If Pep's normally spot on with his recruitment, if you bought someone to be the backup to Rodri, why is he consistently choosing to do something else and switch your formation when you don't have Rodri? I would be super worried that you're becoming Rodri FC.
Well, the thing that's interesting about that is before De Bruyne got hurt, you would have said that they're De Bruyne FC, right? And I mean, they really are. So, you can understand why the De Bruyne-Rodri dynamic is more important than people kind of understood, because it's the dynamic of the two.
But is the drop-off that far that he has to switch the system?
Yes, because it's because they don't know where to be. This is why when I mentioned Rico Lewis, he just didn't know where to be. And in addition to that, we then some City supporters are on this, and they're on Alvarez, and they're like, oh, Alvarez is bad because he did have a poor game, but that's because he's playing the 10 and he's not a 10, right? And so we've talked about this multiple times about City's about control. Alvarez is not a control player. And so the issue that you have there, and you can go back and watch, is that he loses the ball in the center of the park. So if he's losing the ball and then there's no one there to either recover it or cover for him, that because the guys don't know where to be, it creates an issue. And so you can say, well, you can stick Bernardo in the 10 and put Alvarez on the wing, but is Alvarez effective on the wing? And so now you're like, well, where does positionally work best? And I mean, for me, it's weird because I would have put Alvarez on the wing where Foden was and played Foden in the center of the park, because at least Foden would have held the ball. But I think Pep is on the consistency thing. I saw some comments that said, specifically, why don't you just play a 4-3-3? So instead of you just doing inversions and stuff, just play a straight back line of 4, and then you have your 3 midfielders and 3 attacking players and play from there. But I think he's so married to his system that that's what he's going to do. But it's also a matter of, he thinks when you get in the game, you'll know what to do because we've trained and we've showed you. But that's not what's happening. In addition to those guys who play in the middle of the park are not taking those chances or playing those balls that Rodri or De Bruyne would play. And so you can't open up a defense because nobody's doing it. In addition to that, you have, and it's not to knock Kyle Walker, but a lot of City supporters are, I mean, I'm going to call them supporters loosely, you can criticize your team. But they're on Walker too, because they're like, well, what is he doing? Is he really a good captain? Is he a good leader? And because, I mean, he offers nothing forward. And anybody who plays City knows whenever he makes runs forward, they don't give him the ball anyway. So he's just taking up space that you don't have to defend. He's not going to score. He's very unlikely to send a great ball in from in front. So it's just sort of, why is he doing it? And this is where you have to say, well, what's the manager doing? No one's going to question Pep as far as how good he is. But you look at it when they played Nunez looked lost, and Kova is like insanely slow. He doesn't even he doesn't fit the team. The only way he could fit in the team to do anything is if you have De Bruyne or Rodri in front of him. Because otherwise, he's a waste of time going forward because he can't get back.
Well, they came into this game as a rescue mission. In the 60th minute, Pep realized that they were getting absolutely run over. That Akanji and Stones were getting run over. Stones looked like half a man, half a player. He was definitely not fit. And Akanji was getting run past a lot. If John McGinn had not have had so many misplaced passes in the first half, they would have ripped you to shreds in that first half, even more. I think that in the 60th minute, Pep pulls off Alvarez for Nunez and brings on Kovacic for Akanji. And you then have 5 guys clogging the middle. You had Silva, Foden, Kova, Nunez, and Stones all clogging the middle of the field. And this is before the goal. And so they just said, okay, we'll switch to going down the wings now. Gvardiol got cooked, man. Leon Bailey had an absolute best performance I've ever seen him have. Just that wasn't on the radar. I knew he's been like last season. He kind of caught my eye. I was like, okay, he's got a little something.
Right.
And then this season he's been getting better and better and better. And then, bam, whoo, he was fantastic. He was fantastic. But I think that crazy to say, Pep got outcoached. And yes, having to switch the tactics and the system, or at least feeling that he had to do so because of no Rodri, is a massive part of that. But Unai was like, okay, I see what you're doing. I think Unai is one of them. I don't think he's underrated as a manager. I think many people are starting to see that he is a fantastic manager. I think his in-game management is incredible. The tactical switches I've seen in a few of these games, the tactical switch versus Tottenham won the game. Completely changed that game and gave them control, and they won. The way he responded to y'all's clogging the midfielder, and Villa started hitting Watkins more often on the outside. Bailey was taking on Gvardiol a little bit more, and they were attacking Walker as well. They just kind of switched. As soon as Pep did that and clogged the midfield, they're like, oh, okay, so we'll do this now. And it worked to a peach, and you got hats off to him. I thought that was an incredible. I've never seen City outplayed like that. Like maybe not since Pep's first season.
Well, even then, I give credit to the recruitment of other teams. I mean, Villa has been on the rise. We've seen it for 2 seasons now, and so they are where they basically are supposed to be. I mean, and the thing about it is that their gamut of games right here is really a show and prove, because if they can get results that benefit them, not even necessarily win, but benefit them, I mean, they absolutely deserve to be where they are. And I'm going to give them all the credit in the world. There were moments where I'm like, okay, maybe City can do this. There was a period where and I've said this a couple of times, and you mentioned it about Arsenal, where when City's in the game and they look a little rough, you feel like, oh, they're not going to lose though, In this one, I was like, when that goal went, I saw the deflection. I'm like, another freaking deflection. And at that point, I was like, they had nothing going forward. I'm like, they're not getting the goal.
You realize I had 2 shots.
Yeah, and that was at the beginning of the game.
Both of them were Haaland's in the 11th minute.
On the same possession. There's nothing. They didn't do anything. And
for 80 minutes, did nothing. That's crazy.
But what's concerning and is weird is that we can knock Kovacic and Nunez for coming on, but they don't have any consistency within the team because they don't play.
Well, there was no space either.
Yeah, well, but just looking like these guys look like they didn't know where they were supposed to be or what they're supposed to do, which is on the manager, because they don't play. He doesn't sub. Like, think about how many games they've played where he makes subs in the last 5 seconds of the game. These guys don't even get any consistency to run with these guys, so they don't know. Now, again, I think, in my opinion, City is going to go heavy in the window, specifically in the center of the park. But here's the funny thing about it is that you want to go for a holding midfielder who can spell Rodri. But here's the problem. If you get somebody that good, you have to play him. Like, you can't sit him. So no guy good enough to sort of be at that Rodri level, unless it's sort of a diamond in the rough that nobody knows about, is going to come to the team because they're like, why? I don't want to sit down. And De Bruyne is coming back. So what would be the point of me coming here? So I think the job that they have in this window to find somebody there is going to be big. But they also need a winger. Like, I mean, we keep pretending like I mean, Bernardo's out there, but he's not a winger. That you need a winger. So that fixes your other issue, because if you get a winger, which would replace Mahrez, because you left Mahrez out in the ones that we let go and we didn't replace. If you bring a winger in, Now Bernardo can play in the center of the park, which is where he generally ends up anyways, because guys are not doing what they're supposed to do. And he has to come fix it all. Then you need a winger and you need a holding midfielder. Calvin Phillips is gone. You clearly can see that, because if he was worth anything in Pep's mind,
he would have played.
He would have played. So he's gone. And then you have to think, okay, you also need, and I know no one's really saying this, but you need a fullback. You got to replace Walker. Like, that's a big, big deal. I mean, people don't want to talk about it. People were saying, oh, we can't let Walker go to Bayern because that's a huge
how old is he now? Oh, he's rumors of Bayern?
I think before the season there was rumors, because he was going to go to Bayern.
Oh, yeah.
After Kane got signed. But
right.
He's 30. I think he's 31 or 32. I think he's 32.
Sure.
And I mean, it's not that he doesn't have the pace or he can't play the game, but
it's around the corner.
But he doesn't fit the system. Like the way he plays doesn't fit. And so, I mean, yeah, it's good to have somebody who has some pace, but he's in a position where Stones would play. And so he can't invert at all. Gvardiol can invert. So you got everybody across who can do it except him. And then when he goes forward, he doesn't offer anything. At least the other guys, Ake scores goals. Akanji scores goals. Gvardiol can pass. Diaz can pass. Walker's a good defender, but what does he offer going forward? Because you play football on both sides, especially in this system. But, I'm not saying taking any. Villa played well. They deserve to win. The layman's knowledge would say City will come in and smash up Luton Town. And I would say probably yes, because Luton is bad, but I don't know. Like, I really don't know. And the funny thing
there's going to be a response, man.
No, I agree, but then people are still not going to believe in it because, for example, on this, like this weekend is like the trophy tour, right? So I'm going to get to see all the trophies. So I'll send y'all a picture with the 4 trophies. Man City is doing this huge thing in the city, and they've gone – and you got to think about it. Since the trophy has hit the States, they've looked like garbage, straight garbage. And that was 2 games ago. And so, I mean, I have no idea what's going to happen here. I know they're from what I'm told, there's City supporters coming from up and down the East Coast, because this is I think this is the only stop on the East Coast. So That's it. And so I don't know, man. I mean, Pep is a good manager. He said the stuff he needed to say. There's some stuff that you have to revisit. There's some players who I don't know if hair dryer treatment fits it. It's just like you suck right now. And the issue is, and people have always talked about the team squad, that City is so deep, they have 2 teams. Finally, people see the team is not deep at all.
Not at all.
But think about it, I've been saying that. They're not deep at all. And so the greatest thing is the opposite of the Raya Ramsdale thing you got going on in them. And I understand you have to keep Raya, but if they let Ramsdale go, that'll be a huge loss. But in this case, you have to have competition for positions to rise guys up, especially on a championship quality team. And so City don't have that. And so I'll end that on that, and I'll say they're going to beat Luton Town 3-1, and they shouldn't get a goal, but something stupid like a deflection will happen, but whatever, 3-1.
I have a question for you, sir. What were your thoughts on his comments before this game?
Oh, I loved him. And I'm going to tell you why I loved him. Here's the thing, right? Before they were able to think about it. In the past, when they were having issues like this, what did he do? He talked negatively. He was like, this. Think about it. Every time there was sort of a dip period, he would either say he's not leaving, but he would never guarantee a title. He never did that. This year he did it because he knew he had to say something, because these guys that are there have never won. The new guys they brought in, they haven't won in this system, on this team, at this level, in this way. So they don't know. So he has to say it to them publicly so people understand this is where they are. Because when you had De Bruyne and those other guys who had won and said, hey, we already know the process, you don't have to say that. He had to say that for that. So I don't knock him for saying it. I think that, he played the cards based on the hand he had. And let me preface this, he deserves any accolades. He can be as arrogant as he wants to be. But when you have seen how y'all have played this year so far, I think that arrogance was actually uncalled for.
I thought that it was very it felt a little bit out of characteristic for him.
But what do you want him to say?
Well, I mean, I don't think.
Of course he's going to say. Of course he's going to back the team.
Last year, kind of thing. Yeah, you did, but you had a different team.
But of course he's going to back the team he's not Steven Gerrard. He's not Scotty Parker. Like when they ask him, "Are you going to win the title?" Like, what are you going to say? Duh.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it just came across very arrogant the way he kind of went about it. I thought, especially when you see how the team is played. We keep talking about, oh, well, City's going to hit their stride. City's going to hit their stride, and I don't see it. This team just doesn't have it.
You be careful, man. Hey, whoa. Let's pump the brakes. Let's pump the brakes there. These football gods are out here listening, man. The football gods, man. There's this such thing as karma. You just want to be easy. Be easy with what you're putting into the universe right now.
I'm cursed. We'll have to talk about my fantasy team here in a little bit when we talk about Liverpool.
Would you have Holland as your captain?
I am absolutely cursed. So the football gods hate me.
Patrick, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, this team doesn't look like it. Maybe once De Bruyne comes back, they will, and I will eat my words for it. But I don't see it. I just don't. It just doesn't feel the same. And I have all the respect in the world for Pep. I think he's an incredible manager. I think that he will get y'all playing to a higher level, but I don't think you have it in you with this current setup for sure to make a run like you did last year to take over Arsenal to win the league. And it's going to come down to Arsenal and Liverpool for this league.
Well, he's counting you out already. Wow.
The Villa disrespect is wild.
Dang.
Because if Villa comes in and squeaks out one against Arsenal, they're riding and they're up there.
Oh no, I don't disrespect Villa. I think that I think that Liverpool is just built a little bit better than Villa right now. Maybe they.
Well, here's and I'm not knocking that.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Here's where I agree that this is not the team, but that's why I made the point that he had to say it, because in past teams, because he knew what he had, he didn't say anything like that. And this one, he's teaching these guys because it's a bunch of young guys and guys who've never been there, right? And so if you think about it, I can give you 2 seasons, not the last one, the one before and the one before, when it's City pool, City made moves in every January window and the team changed. And so while I hear you about City not hitting the stride, City don't hit the stride until January anyways. That's first. Second, Diaz was bought in January. Laporte was bought in January. Like, go find out big signings. They all come in January because he makes the adjustments. And so him saying that what he did, yeah, I agree it's out of character. But the thing about it is that they are the duck on the water swimming forward, right? The thing is, we're looking at the league, and City is 6 points ahead of the leaders, right? Arsenal are the leaders, they're 6 points behind. If we account for this, Arsenal have to play a team in the top 4 the next game. That could cut that lead, right? And then City has to play them again. So that's another 3 points. So if you strategically look at it, if you expect Arsenal to be good, if you expect Newcastle to at least pick off a few points here and there, I expect Chelsea to pick off a few points from the top tier teams. United is
I'm kind of ready to end this season with Chelsea right now.
Well, but that my point is, I think you'll still pick off some points from people. You don't have to win them. You just need to take 2, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to win those games. And again, Jake, we've been doing this pod for a bit. Jake understands draws will lose you the league.
Devastating.
Because you experienced it. And so City is like, okay, we can only play what's in front of us. And think about it. I've said it a couple of weeks where I'm like, this ain't it. And so there's going to be at least 4 guys. I'm being honest, 3 or 4 guys that come into the team in this January window, specifically because
the team is short. We don't have any players.
Well, most
And
definitely,
so-
I agree. Your team is short.
So I think so. I can't judge the team until the end of January because you got the Club World Cup, which they're probably going to wake up for sure, because it's 2 games and they got to wake up for at least the first one so they can make the next one. And then after that, if they win that trophy, you don't think guys are going to want to come there? And there's a lot of guys out there, and City doesn't normally do the whole I'm splashing money. They're going to splash money in January. I promise you, they're going to spend money. And so,
but then I take a step back and point to you just saying that the guys that came in the summer aren't to that level yet for Pep as in terms of the training and the molding of them. Who's to say that's not going to be the case as well in January with your signings?
Well, I can say that's the case for 2 reasons. Number one, I pointed out the success of the last January transfers. The second thing is you don't have a big break in between, so these guys have been playing ball already. So you're going to pick guys who are already playing ball because that summer break is a big deal. Now let's think about Kovacic. Kovacic came in with where they still were trying to sign Gundogan, so he was supposed to back him up. So because any report you read, Gundogan got offered a deal, so they were supposed to keep him, and Kova was always coming. So he was cover for him. He wasn't supposed to replace him. So you have to look at, they're going to go at the window differently. Nunez was not the choice. Nunez wasn't the guy we were going after. We were going after Paqueta. So you have to understand, we didn't get the guys we wanted. So it's not about them not fitting. It's that these are the second choice guys. So these weren't even the guys we wanted in the team anyways. And the ones that are in here, they weren't supposed to be like that. Think about it. They sold Cole Palmer, and they didn't plan on doing that. But there's like, hey, the guy asked to go, let him go. We never replaced him, academy-wise, or even Mahrez-wise, because he was supposed to be the Mahrez replacement.
Right.
He's in a team that changes the team. And again, Kova was supposed to cover because then, and I'm being honest, Calvin Phillips would have been sold this summer, specifically if Gundogan stays. They would have got rid of him then because Kova would have been there. So then, so you have to look at these guys didn't fit because they didn't get put in where they were. What they were sold is not what they're doing. So now they're like, and so there's an inconsistency in the team because you have to fix that. And so, in my opinion, you're going to see a holding midfielder come in, you're going to see a winger come in, you're going to see a defender. Minimum of those 3. We don't need any strikers because Alvarez was supposed to deputize Haaland. Alvarez is not supposed to be playing where he is right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have to think about these guys are makeshift guys where you just stick guys in there and you expect them to all be Bernardo, but they're not Bernardo.
Yeah.
I'm being honest.
I definitely think
I agree that the way he came off was arrogant, but I think that was coupled with the thing that was it Neville who said it? Was it Neville or somebody said something? He was like, "You have to win a league or something like that." I can't remember. But
you're talking about Jamie Carragher. Jamie Carragher.
Yeah, it was Carragher. He shot back at Carragher. So it was just a week where he was like, "I got to defend my guys."
Right.
And they knew what they were coming up against. And I mean, you got to think about the streaks where they were facing. Pepe won 13 in a row against Emery. You're not going to win forever against anybody. Villa was on 17 games in a row at home?
Mm-hmm.
14.
14.
I'm sorry, 14. Think about the streaks they were facing. Nothing. And then they had 2 days rest. There was nothing that was saying they were going to win that game. At most, they were shooting for a draw. And I'm being honest there. And I mean, do champions do that? No. But do the walking wounded do it? Hell yeah, they do. But I mean, I give Villa all the credit. They were good, and they deserve to be in the top 3.
Yeah, if Ederson doesn't stand on his head there, it's fine.
Yeah. And they hit the bar as well. What you saying, X? You got a score for City Luton? You think they're going to bounce back and smash them?
I do. 3-0.
3-0. Comprehensive.
I'm going for a City smashing because dadgummit, y'all didn't do it. So 5-0.
You.
Oh.
Did you do that too?
I did. I said 5.
Really?
Yeah. I just think they're gonna be angry. Pep's gonna he's gonna make sure they don't make mistakes like that again. And this, honestly, That's them losing to Villa is why I think they'll be switched on, and it won't be we're just going to walk kind of at arrogance from City. They're going to be switched on because of being beaten by Villa, and I think they're going to absolutely thrash them. I definitely think it's going to be, it's just going to be a walk. I've watched more Luton Town than perhaps I should have this season, and I watch enough of this game that I know over multiple games, long periods in the season, the way teams play, there are little consistencies. There are, Luton are just not good enough, man. And we didn't decide to show up, but City, all they have to do is just be switched on just a little bit, and they will find them out so fast, and it'll be a bloodbath. And obviously City have the capability to do that. But yeah, I fear for Luton Town on this one. But yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look back at, actually, before we move on, Lewis, your Everton Chelsea prediction.
Even though Everton smashed, I think Chelsea. Where's the game at?
Goodison.
I think Chelsea wins 2-1.
2-1 to the Blues. Perfect. So we'll take a look back at just a little rapid fire look back at some of the games that have gone by. Everton did smash Newcastle. They were value for that win, of course. I just went back and watched the Fulham 5-0 over Forest highlights. It was an Alex Iwobi masterclass.
It was.
It's interesting to me that Iwobi could not really ever dominate and be a big part, like a huge, important role in the Arsenal team, but he was massive to the Everton squad, and he's coming into his own at Fulham. Raul Jimenez, 2 goals. Looks comfy. Yeah, massive for Fulham. Let's see. Bournemouth beat Palace 2-0. Palace are just not good. Not good at all. Brighton have beaten Brentford in an absolute battle that's left Brian Mbomo out.
Yep.
For a while. I think it said 6 weeks, maybe
6
something
weeks,
like that.
I think is what I saw, yeah.
Yeah, so that's awful for Brentford.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's awful for Brentford. Wolves beat Burnley 1-0. I actually watched a lot of this one. It was comfortable. It was one of those 1-0s that, Burnley really, they're struggling, man. They didn't really do much. I didn't expect them to do much at Molineux either. Liverpool handle business at Sheffield.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It was one of those they didn't really put it on them and got the comfortable 2-0. It was 1-0 for a long time. So they made it uncomfortable on themselves is really what it was, but they got the 2-0 in the end.
Mo Salah got 3 points in fantasy. 3.
Yeah, not good.
Ever since I picked him up, he's gotten 5 and 3.
Oof.
The man was averaging 8 points.
And the minute you drop him, he's going to hit. He's going to hit 2 hat
2
tricks.
assists and a goal.
Absolutely.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Absolutely.
I know nobody really cares, but it's just it's hilarious to me that the dude is like doing this.
Well, I need you to pick Ollie Watkins and Leon Bailey on your fantasy this week.
I do have Ollie Watkins.
You should pick him.
And they hit 2 hat tricks each and then just get smashed.
You watch your mouth.
I do have Ollie Watkins. I've had him for a few weeks, and
yeah,
I actually picked him up right after he had like a hat trick. He's been good. I'm not saying, but he's not been to that level.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't been. He hasn't been to that level with the GA. His performances have been fantastic.
Oh yeah, he's been fantastic. It's
yeah,
that's wise.
Now, Spurs have lost again today. Beautiful. I watched the full 90 of this one, and they did hit the bar one time. They did create in the first half again. They scored. Romero gets the first goal of the game, comes back, but also, of course, on his return from suspension for yellow card accumulation gets another yellow. So I heard Terry from the Football Terrace, Manchester United fan, very big channel. Go check that out. He was doing his review of the game, and he made the comment that there are a few absolute truths in life. Taxes, we're all going to die, and Romero will get a yellow card.
Didn't he? He came off of a red against Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a 3-game suspension for that, and then he went on
in the very next game. He got another yellow, which was his 5th yellow, making it. Absolutely.
That's amazing.
But West Ham defended really well. I thought Spurs put it on them in the first half, but they defended really, really well. And typical Moyes performance. I think they really figured it out in the second half and grew in confidence and got their counterattacking goals and won the game. I will say Thomas Souček, I don't like him very much. Another intentional handball like a clear intentional handball that doesn't get called. I know it has zero effect on the game and is neither here nor, doesn't matter at all, but this guy just gets away with handballs like all day long. I don't understand.
He's the second goalkeeper. It's not fair.
Yeah, it's crazy. But massive victory for the Hammers. The bubbles were definitely flying down in actually it was at the 3-point lane. So there you go. Lane. 3 points for the West Hammers. You love to see it. You love to see results like that. But speaking of results, we will jump to our predictions for the weekend. We'll kick it off with Brighton and Burnley, and we can go rapid fire through these as well. We don't have to necessarily. Obviously, if you want to, mention something about the game, but some of these, not necessarily too much to speak on. But as far as Brighton and Burnley are concerned, I feel like both teams are kind of similar in that they like to play. They're very open, but they both make really lots of mistakes. The main difference is that Brighton definitely have what it takes to put goals in, and Burnley struggle. Although Brighton have been very wasteful recently in front of goal. I still think they're going to – I said 3-0 to Brighton. I still think it's just going to be comprehensive.
I just want it to be known I did have that, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to go 3-1 Brighton.
Nice. You going to back Vinny? You gonna back your boy there, Lewis? What you saying?
They are so confusing, man, because it's like, I didn't pick them to win the last game. I didn't pick them. Didn't I pick a draw or something like that? It was something goofy. But
for Burnley,
the last one that they smashed, I didn't pick them to win.
Oh, when they won 5-0?
Yeah, I don't think I picked that.
Yeah.
No. You said 2-0. You said they would win 2-0 over. That was the Sheffield match.
Well, Brighton is better than them. So, and Brighton scores. So I'm going for the barn burner of 3-2.
Yeah, I like it.
Brighton.
I figured. What'd you think, X?
That 2-1 going to the goals.
Nice. Yeah.
I think they give one here, but I think they command the game enough to score 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see it. They do like to give the ball away as they try to play out from the back. Speaking of massacres, Palace versus Liverpool. Yeah, man. Palace have just no Eze. They can't. They've been struggling of late. Elise is not necessarily hitting the heights.
Not going to score.
I said 4-0. I don't think they're going to score either.
I went 3-0.
I had 3-0 going to Pool. Yeah, I had 3-0 going to Pool.
You've made some crazy picks, X, but if you said 3-0 to Palace in this game, that would be the
Hang on, does it help us in the table? Yes, it does. 3-0 to Palace, baby.
Hey, I'm cheering Palace as hard as possible because now that Liverpool are quietly back, It's
Yeah.
I got to cheer against multiple
up.
teams now.
It's Arsenal or nothing these
It's
days.
not just City that I'm cheering against now. It's like, oh crap. What you saying, Lewis?
Two.
It's 2-0. 2-0. He's gone 2. Okay. This is a little
2-0.
blurry. Yeah.
And Salah will have an assist. Matter of fact, he'll have 2 assists.
You hear that, Patrick? Salah on the fantasy.
Nice.
Soon as
Really
Patrick
nice.
benches
we
him.
need it.
As soon as Patrick benches.
Down the
No,
table.
you should play him. You should play him. Hopefully he'll have a rough game and they'll lose.
Who?
Liverpool.
Oh, Salah? Yeah, he's.
Yeah, go ahead and play him.
I'll send you my
Travis,
lineup.
man.
First name on the team sheet.
I'll send you my lineup.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, the next one, Fulham v West Ham, both coming off pretty big wins. Definitely going to be flying high. It's at the Cottage. This one kind of tough to call. It's kind of tough to call. What are we thinking?
1-1.
I went 3-2 Ham.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one.
2-1 Bubbles.
I think they're just gonna beat each other up. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of quality in it. To the
I
Bubbles.
agree. 2-1 Bubbles.
I myself have
They're
said
gonna beat each
2-2.
other up this whole game.
I agree it's going to be a battle. I think that Fulham are going to struggle against the way West Ham play, especially when they, away from home, if they set up with that counterattacking kind of style. I'm kind of talking myself out of my prediction here. No, I'm going to stick with it 2-2. I think Fulham have shown very recently a couple, bits of quality that they can score, and they'll be at home, so where they've just put in 5 goals. So yeah, I think 2-2 is about right. Xavier's favorite team, Manchester United, are hosting Bournemouth. Sorry, I had to. Too soon? Too soon? Sorry.
I'll cut you.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. So I take it you're picking a Bournemouth win.
I need the points.
It's at Old Trafford. It's at Old Trafford.
Can't do it. He knows better. Then
it's
1-0 to the referees.
let's go, boys. It's gonna be a 1-1. No, it's gonna be 1-1. 1-1.
I like it.
It's at Old Trafford. They're not allowed to lose.
Gotta do it.
They've lost 3 times at Old Trafford this season. This just in.
I can't do it, dude. I can't do it, dude. I can't. I hate United so much.
Well,
man.
Xavier, you'll be excited about what I've picked because I'm back in Bournemouth as well. 2-2. I think Bournemouth. I think United were super wasteful. Just because Chelsea were awful doesn't mean that United were like superb or great. They kind of took advantage of what was in front of them. So I think Bournemouth are open. They like to play. United, are not great, even after the morale boosting victory. So yeah, 2-2. I'd love to see it. What are we thinking, Patrick?
Old Trafford effect, 2-1 United.
I got
Listen,
3-1 United.
I watched them allow a goal happen where the guy is standing on the freaking goal line, right as the shot's coming to him, and he slides just a little bit out of the way so that it doesn't hit him.
Oh, come on. He's not in his way, though. He was never in line of sight at all. Come on. That one you can't really argue with. There were some awful calls in that match. That wasn't one of them.
Being though is what is line of sight? Because I've seen goals that have been allowed where the guy was clearly in the line of sight of the goalkeeper, and I've seen goals disallowed because the guy wasn't clearly in the line of sight of the goalkeeper. So what is it? And you can't tell me if you're a goalkeeper and you're peripheral and you see a guy onto your peripheral that you're not thinking, oh my gosh, he's offside.
Yeah, I don't know. That one would not. That would.
It's going to happen. They're not going to allow them to lose to Bournemouth. Don't care. Conspiracy, whatever you want to call it. They're not going to allow them to lose to Bournemouth. 2-1 United.
So, Lewis, you think it's going to be comprehensive?
No, I don't think it's going to be comprehensive at all. I think it's going to be 3-1. You got an own goal in there and the referee.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah, I still think Bournemouth have what it takes. I'm definitely going to be cheering them on. I know Xavier will as well.
I'm
Yeah.
over Bournemouth. Screw United. I'm just saying.
100%.
Fair enough.
100%.
Fair enough.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, the Imbomo-less Bees travel to Sheffield, where with Brian Imbomo, I would have said they're going to wreck Sheffield. But at Bramall Lane, no Imbomo. I've gone 0-0.
Ooh.
This has 0-0 written all over it.
I think Brentford will struggle to break them down. And I don't think Sheffield can score at all because they're bad.
Brentford 1-0. Own goal again.
So there's going to be some. So defenders are going to have a great scoring weekend.
Shocking highlights.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be a comp of own goals from week 16. What'd you say, Patrick?
Well, first off, looking at what Brentford's got over the next 6 weeks, they might be okay. They got Villa, Wolves, Palace, Forest, Spurs. So they might be okay. That said, what? Oh, no, they don't even have that much in the next 6 weeks. Actually, in the next 6 weeks, it's Sheffield, Villa, Wolves, Palace, and then they don't play again until January 20th. So weird. Anyways, I know, winter break.
The winter break. Yep.
We talk about how bad Sheffield is. I agree. I don't think this is one where they can pick up a point. So I went 2-0 to Brentford.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely can see it. I'm going to skip the next one because we might speak on it a little bit more. Wolves Forest will head to this on the next one. Forest coming off a horrifying performance, an absolute mauling, and they're away from home again at Molineux. That is not an easy place to go. Hwang Hee-chan, 9 goals on the season, flying high. Maybe Neto will be back. 2-0, Wolves.
I went 2-2.
Really?
Yeah. I think Forest has to get up after that performance. I think Wolves are good for a couple goals, but I also think Forest finds a way to get a point out of this one.
There you go. What you saying, Lewis?
I got 2-1 Wolves. No own goals. No own goals.
No own goals in this one?
All right. Let's go.
What'd you think, X?
I'm going to go 1-0 to the Wolves. I think they beat Forest here.
Yeah. Yeah, the home field advantage for sure. Yeah. Well,
I'm giving them, yeah.
The final matchup to discuss is a spicy one. The Toon visit 3 Point Lane, Spurs versus Newcastle, and I'm expecting a barn burner. I think it's going to be a good one. There's going to be space, high lines and high presses and battle axes and swords and shields. I think there might possibly be a discipline issue in this game. I'm willing to bet someone gets sent off. Whether it's Romero trying to injure people, whether it's Joel Linton with two-hand push in the back. Somebody. I think this one's going to get heated. Two teams who are definitely hot-headed. But I think that Maybe there's just this subconscious thing. I just keep picking Spurs to lose. I mean, what do you expect? 3-2 Newcastle.
It works. It's working.
It's gonna be a barn burner, and I think that Newcastle will have the quality. They'll be able to cut through Spurs. I think Spurs will be able to cut through them at times, and I think it'll be back and forth. Nice game, but I'm back in Newcastle 3-2.
I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle.
All right. You love to hear it. You love to see it. Is that a subconscious hate pick for you as well?
No, I think Newcastle has to bounce back from today. I respect Ange Postecoglou, but I don't think Spurs have won in their last 5. I think that's what Expressions was whining about today.
I watched that match reaction as well. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I enjoy his saltiness so much. It's fantastic.
It cleanses
stuff.
the soul. It cleanses.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely like water for the soul. I love it.
So
absolutely. What were we saying, Lewis?
I have a 2-2 draw.
Mm.
And the reason I say that is Spurs are walking wounded, but they can score. They can score. And Newcastle is probably one that I thought City was inconsistent. Newcastle is way more inconsistent than City. You literally don't know what they're going to do when they get on the field. And that's weird and dangerous, which is good for Spurs because they're going to play dangerous. But at the same time, it's bad for Newcastle because you don't know. Because they're gonna get goals too because they don't go like runs with no goals. They got smacked. And now they're going to score at least 2 goals, but then they're going to concede 2 more because clearly they like to give goals too.
Yeah, fair enough. What you think, X?
3-2 Newcastle.
Yeah. Clearly, we all expect it to be a fantastic match. I'm just.
I think this is probably one of the better games or matchups.
I think before the game, instead of whatever music they play for the walkout, I think they should play the Mortal Kombat theme. Yeah, it's coming because it's. I think this is going to be like a literal bloodbath. Like there might actually be blood.
There be blood.
At some point in this one. But yeah, the predictions are in. The reviews are done. The previews have been spoken on. And yeah, it's been a good one. I'm certainly excited about the weekend to come. Lots of action to look forward to. And if you're as excited as we are, go ahead and smash the likes up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thanks for being here. We are on our way to 200 subscribers. Get that little notification bell on as well. Thanks for listening, and you will see us next time.